Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and those intellectually honest enough to get to the end of this video. It is I, Alistair Crowley III, Deputy of Common Sense, and your unbiased analyst of baseless beliefs. I rarely call out those within my own community. However, I feel that I must do so every so often to maintain my personal sense of objectivity. Which community are we talking about? And who is getting a viciously verbose violation of their positively puerile positions? You'll have to see for yourself. Be back in a tick. Renfield, launch the intro. There is nothing wrong with your browser. Do not attempt to refresh the page. We are now controlling all that you see and hear. We control the horizontal and the vertical. We can delude you with 1,000 videos or expand one single frame to crystal clarity and beyond. We can shape your vision to anything our imagination can design. We shall control all that you perceive until we see fit to release you. You are about to experience the depths of depravity that reach from the folly of human pursuits to the Deputy of Common Sense. Please stand by. So, today's topic is no bullshit. A man so hopelessly enamored with his own perceived self-importance that he fails to understand that he is reviled by everyone, including those within his own community. No bullshit is a social critic devoid of social awareness and critical thinking. He is what every feminist imagines their opponent to be. He is an ignorant, misogynistic, far-right, arrogant, hate-mongering neckbeard who probably thinks that LMAO is how French people laugh. He calls his detractors beta males and cucks, while being the stereotype of a self-hating incel who takes out his anger on women because he is unable to find a woman who can stand to be around him for longer than 5 minutes. In reality, he is a beta male by his own definition. No, wait, I take that back. Beta males are at least welcomed by other beta males. According to the old school of thought for wolf packs, beta males are actually second in command inside the pack. That is far too generous a term for no bullshit. He is an omega. Omegas are the lowest of the low. They are the outcasts of the pack. They are allowed to feed on whatever scraps that the beta and alpha wolves leave behind. Then they slink off to their dens with their tails between their legs. No bullshit would be considered an omega, if such a hierarchy actually existed among human society. This is false. Humans are much too complicated to be confined in such simplistic hierarchical terms. In dogs and wolves, every member of the pack has a place in the hierarchy, and beta wolves are not, in fact, the lowest tier, as Stefan Molyneux, no bullshit, and other such individuals would have you believe. Furthermore, alphas do not operate the same way in every species. Animal behavior varies according to the type of animal. For example, baboons behave in a completely different manner to dogs and wolves. Among baboons, there is only one dominant male, who can be replaced only once he is overthrown, while in wolves there are several alphas. So, if each species with a hierarchical system of power has a different way of operating, then what basis do we have to compare ourselves to wolves? None. Humans are far too complex to be summarily placed in such simplistic categories as alpha, beta, and omega. A stoner who would otherwise be considered a loser by society might also be a rock star. A man who is a custodian by day might be a superstar DJ by night. The shy girl next door to you might in reality be an incredibly popular cam girl. A woman who was once a homeless single mother might today be the most successful female author in human history. That one I can prove. And also, maybe, just maybe, a reclusive misanthropic nihilist might be a prodigy in philosophy and might have writing talents far beyond his years. So what is the point of all of this? The point is that no bullshit does not understand anything. Even his insults reek of pseudo-intellectualism. He has no basis in critiquing anyone, since he cannot remain objective while doing so. I do my best to be nuanced on this channel, and to consider all possible points of view. When I make a mistake, such as the math error in my response to Shock of God, I take down the video and I fix my mistake. And trust me, there are topics where I cannot remain objective. However, in those cases, I always tell you up front that I cannot be objective. I am always 100% transparent on this channel. I take the ideals of remaining unbiased, intellectually honest, and transparent with my audience very seriously. No bullshit makes no attempt to do any of this. He has no integrity or honesty, and he wields his ignorance like some sort of prize. Too many lies, too many lies. No bullshit is a drooling, slack-jawed stooge who adds nothing to the conversation but the rantings and ravings of someone who has truly lost the plot. As a member of the anti-sjw community and an outspoken critic of social justice rhetoric, I denounce no bullshit entirely. People like him give those of us who have legitimate criticisms of feminism and social justice a bad name. They lend credence to the stereotype of the anti-sjw. As far as I'm concerned, no bullshit is not welcome in this community. His disingenuous arguments, his pseudo-intellectualism, his lack of any sense of integrity all harm the causes that serious-minded people such as myself seek to advance. Please do not judge us all by his example. Believe it or not, we do not all think like him. Much like the atheist community, we in the anti-sjw community are not homogeneous in our thoughts and opinions. We are a loose association of people with only one major commonality. We all hate social justice. We are not all white supremacists. We are not all Nazis. We are not all transphobic, homophobic, or misogynistic, and we are not all right-wing. Some of us, for example myself, are simply opposed to extremism in all its forms. Some of us, including myself, support freedom for everyone, no matter who they are, what they believe, what they identify as, or who they choose to vote for. No bullshit is not one of these people. He is the definition of someone who has lost his objectivity on the issues he speaks about. I am one of the people that I mentioned. I do not care what goes on in your life or in your head. You have the right to say anything and do anything that does not directly infringe on the rights of others. I believe in freedom for everyone. No bullshit doesn't. Every single criticism, that I levy against feminism and social justice can be equally levied against no bullshit. He is tribalistic, morally absolutist, dishonest, blind to his own faults and the faults of his arguments. He makes sweeping generalizations without any consideration for the nuances of the topic he is speaking about. He views any criticism levied against him as an attack and brings up no evidence to back up his claims. He is the very thing he fights against. He is an SJW by every sense of the word. He has no place criticizing feminism, social justice, or anything else because he fails to follow the rules that he tells others to live by. He is a hypocritical dunce who has become a running joke in his own community. The only difference between no bullshit and someone like Riley Dennis is what side of the political spectrum they fall on. I disavow him and his audience. They are all cretinous buffoons. I award him no points, and if there were any justice in the world, he would be electrocuted by a stray wire in the discount real doll that he almost certainly owns. Well, this looks like the end. I'm the deputy of common sense. I dispense swift justice to those who aren't so swift. And no bullshit. Grow up.
You're a cunt. You're a cunt now. You've always been a cunt. And the only thing that's going to change is you're going to become an even bigger cunt.